Hey, good evening. This is the Sledge Master. I've had a couple of people want me to do a video on some exercises, describe some exercises that I used to do when I was younger, that I have come up with back between 1988 and 1992, time I was 18 and up. Okay, I guess 18 up to about, I guess I was 21 at the time, I guess. Okay, now these exercises, far as I know, and if anybody knows any different, before 1988, you need to contact me on my email, and it's James, James dot Justice 172 at gmail.com. That's James.Justice 172 at gmail.com. Or go to my other email, and it's James P. Justice, James P. Justice 1993 at gmail.com. Okay, the exercises that I'm talking about that I have made up between that time period, and I still do from time to time today. Okay, as far as I know, these didn't exist before 1998. And if anybody knows, let me know. Okay, you can send it to my email. Okay, I send videos, magazine, pictures, or whatever that we have proof. I didn't get to claim to these exercises at that time period because I was in college, high school and college, and I didn't have a way to put it on video. Things were a little bit different than it is today. Most of the time people communicated by phone and by magazine or by person to person more than it is today. That's a shame, but it's true. Okay, the first exercise I'm getting ready to talk about is what they call the last 5 or 6 years or so. It's called the speed deadlift. I did a video on this 2 years ago, put it on YouTube. I just don't remember what the YouTube name or the name of it is to find it. It's called the speed deadlift, what they call it today. When I came up with this, when I was 18 in 1988, I call it the rippin deadlift. Okay, that's where you bend down to the ground like a regular deadlift. This is to some of you people who have never done deadlifts or squats or whatever with weights. The rest of them just know what I'm talking about. When you bend down and pick up the weight, as you come up, there is weight on both sides. There'll be a person on both sides. As you come, each time you come up, they're putting a big 45-pound plate on each side. As you come up, they put another 45, another 45, another 45, until you get to your limit. There's 3 ways that we did this, and I usually only teach it one way. But the way I come up with for 3 different ways was you add weight to it. Then after you get to your limit, you have the people on each side of the bar start taking the plates back off. Each time that you come up, plate goes. Come up, a plate goes. Okay. At that time, I weighed 175 pounds. And let's see, I think I was doing 650 squat, 650 deadlift, 435-pound bench. And I was all natural, just like I am today. The other way that we did it was we went up in weight and we stopped. The other way that we did it was we started with heavy weight sometimes. Sometimes we alternate doing this rippin exercises. They were called rippin exercises. That's what I called them. Not speed, not whatsoever. It was called a rippin deadlift. So we would start at heavy weight sometimes. Then we go down, come back up, take the weight off. Each time we went down, they took the weight off. We come back up, they took the weight off. Till we got down to 245s. We never went down to 145 on each side. We always went down to 225 on each side, which is 225. When I come up with these exercises at this period of time, I took basic exercises or powerlifting exercises, bodybuilding exercises, strongman, Olympic lifting exercises, and I just added to it. Okay, I just took basic exercises and I added to it. Okay, for an example, it's like the curls. Every time we bring the curl up and take it back down, somebody put a weight on it. I come up the rippin deadlift, the rippin squat, the rippin bent over rows, the rippin curls, the rippin calf raises. And when you did the dumbbells, you'd start with a 20, do it one time, set it down. Come over to 25, take it up, set it down. We would do that all the way up till I got to 150 pounds. There have been very few people I taught this to. From 1988 up to this day, very few. Okay? Just like we did with the Justice 7, Super 7, and the Justice 714, which I'll talk about that tomorrow. That's that is an exercise that's a key, but it's good for you. Me think. Okay. What we did was we took just the normal exercises, we added to it, and we also did, I come up with a double bar shoulder press. A normal shoulder press is like this. You look up. Okay, when I came up with the double bar shoulder press, it was to have a rack on both sides where you can reach up, or a rack that was big enough where you can put a bar so far up where you can set the bars. It's like a safety bar. Then you put the weight bars with the weight on it to the side. And what you would do, and of course you wore your belt, and when you wore your wraps. What you would do is start, and you got a bar in each hand, and you got the bar right in the center. And it's a lot harder to do with a bar than it is with dumbbells, because you have to bounce that bar the whole time. Okay, so what you done is you grab the bar and you try to balance it, and that's where you got to start with the bar by itself, then work your way up to weight. And it got where me and another guy were doing 225 pounds with both arms at that time. Okay, and every so often down through the years we've been doing it. But we would push it up, bring it back down, and we would do probably anywhere between 5 and 8 reps. Okay, we start with low weight and work your way up. Now, with the, that would build strength and power and size. And it would help you with your regular shoulder presses. When you did the, we'll go back one step. When you did the rep and exercises, it was for endurance, strength, size, and power. There's a difference between power and strength. And I'll go over the definition with you sometime or another. I don't know, in a video or two later on after this. Okay, I also come up with the double bench press. Okay, sometimes you had 2 people with you that are working out with you, and what they do, they pick up the bar and they would reach it to you while you're laying on a flat bench. Okay, now I come up with all these exercises, and as far as I know, nobody else has. Before 1988, up to 1992. So what we done is they reach it to you, you grab the center of the bar, there's a grid about like this here, a few inches long, and you grab it right in the center. Now, you've seen people do dumbbell presses. Well, these here were with the bar. It's a lot harder. Until you get used to it, you got to start with the bar, then work your way up in weights. Okay? And what you do, you press it, and that would build a big, strong, massive chest. But what if you do not take out the bars too far, like you would a butterfly or dumbbell fly. You'll cause a lot of shoulder problems. So keep the barbells close. The other bench exercise I came up with at that time. Now I'm talking about exercises that deals not just with bodybuilding and Olympic lifting. We're talking about also powerlifting to build power. Okay, so there's like a strongman exercise. Most of these were power, bodybuilding, strongman exercises, whatever. So I do the one on bench press. And what it is, you put your hand right in the center of the bar, you take your other hand, you help push it up, get it to the side, not too far out, but you can have it down to the side or just a little bit further out, get a little more of that out of the chest and the shoulder. And what you do is you hold on to the fork of the bench. Okay? And, or if you didn't have the forks on the bench and you had somebody reach the bar to you, you hold to the side. So what you want to do And sometimes you didn't have a bench that had a fork on it, so you had somebody behind you to reach it to you. But most of the time we had a bench. And what you done was you held the fork of the bench and you would do each arm like this here. It's for power and strength and size. And it will also improve your bench press. These exercises I'm talking about, they are not for beginners. They are for people who've been at it for, say, 2 or 3 years or longer. But the last part are intermediate level to beginner's level. That's what these exercises are for. There was another exercise that we done. Now I'm doing this because I had a couple people, one person remembers when I was younger, and they want to know if I do a video on the exercises that I come up with. So that's the reason I'm doing this video. The other guy, the gentleman that I used to train, now we're training partners together. When I get to go down to Paintsville a couple times a week or one time a week. And he also reminded me, why don't you do the video on the exercises that you came up with, that nobody else has ever come up with before. So we also, when we did these exercises, we also did the one-arm deadlift. Okay, and that's where you grab the center of the bar, you bend down, you squat, you pick it up, and you bring it up to here. And you do the other arm the same way. There's no reason to do no more than 3 sets. Even professional level, after you do your warm-ups, do no more than 3 sets. That's all you really need. Let me think here. There was a few exercises I came up with. There might be a couple I might forget. Shoot. Well, anyway, try to think of some more. We also did the Justice 7. Okay, and that's a pretty darn hard routine. I'm trying to think up some more that we did. But anyway, when we did the ripping exercises, I applied it to every exercise in my routine. And I came up with these exercises between 1988 and 1992. We did the same thing with the sit-ups, with the incline sit-ups. And what we would do, we would start with heavy weight, sometimes 3 or 4 45-pound plates on our chest. Then we do as many times as we can till we take one off. Many times we can, we take one off. Did as many times we can, took one off till you got down to your body weight. So that's pretty darn tough. I had some ripped up abs at the time. I'm just trying to think of the other exercises because I had them memorized. That takes care of the repping, all the repping exercises, which is not called speed. They call it speed deadlift, but it's called repping deadlift. Let's see, the double bar stuff. We got the shoulders. We did the side. Okay, I came up with a double bar deadlift. The double bar deadlift is like a regular deadlift, except you got 2 bars, and it will improve your deadlift. What you do is you beat down. And you reach the center of the bars in both hands, and you pick up. Then you take them back down. I think now they're doing a farmer's walk with that, with the strong men. But at that time, I came up with a double bar deadlift. And I think it's around about 1990s when I come up with that. Okay. Let me think. We used to do the one-legged squat. Oh yeah. As far as doing the one-handed snatches, that's an old-time exercise from a long time ago. I still do that from time to time. The one-arm power cleans, where you bring it here, then you press it up. When you lean to the side, that's one in each arm, just one arm at a time. That's old-time exercise. They did it with barbells, and they did it with the dumbbells. At the time, the barbells and dumbbells had the little balls on the end, big metal balls. Okay. We also did the repping butterflies, but you had to have one person on each side to reach you the dumbbells. We did the repping this, the TriShip Pushdowns on the machine. Of course, you could do the weight yourself. Okay. But each one of these, you have 3 ways of doing it. You went up in weight, then you come back down in weight. Or you went up in weight and you stopped. Or you start with heavy weight after you did your warm-ups, always do your warm-ups, at least a couple of different warm-ups, okay, before you start on your main exercise. And we did a heavy weight coming down. And when I was younger, I didn't want to just look strong as a bodybuilder. I wanted to be strong. So that's the reason I took all the exercises that I thought was the best, and I combined them into one. Because I knew at that time when I was younger that Bruce Lee had done the same thing. He took his, what I guess you can call it style. He didn't really want to have a style, but he had to name it something. So he took what he knew and other styles and took the best part out of each style and he made it into one. If I ain't mistaken, I believe it's what he done. But that's where I got the idea. So I took bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, strongman, and I took the best ones and I made it into one. And I did these every week. Every so often, I might throw a little something different in, a different exercise. Okay? So, I wanted to go over this with you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the Justice 7, Justice Super 7, and the Justice 714. Those are bad exercises. And I'll tell you this, if you ain't wore out, there's something wrong. Because me and the gentleman down there in Princeville, that I used to, from time to time, I'll do training with him, we sold 5 videos. And when these people have done these videos on disc, they loved it. They've never seen nothing like it. And it's still not done today. So very few people I taught this stuff to. All right, even the gentleman down there in Paintsville. I showed him some things from time to time. Now, if there's any other exercises that I came up with at that time that I'm not really thinking of right now, then I'll add it to one of my other videos. Okay? All right, and we got He-Man on. And sometimes this is kind of a good motivation. You see the guy with the big, strong muscles and talking about He-Man. God bless everybody. Take care. Be good to each other. Wear your belt. Wrap your elbows. Wrap your knees. Oh, yeah. Before I want to say anything, you federations and organizations out there, as your next competitions keep coming up in the next year or two, think about this. Okay, I went over other stuff, but think about this. In the Classic Raw, when I was younger, there was a few competitions we went to where they let you wrap your elbows while you bench press. And at that time, we used lace bandages. That's all anybody ever had at the time. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger used lace bandages. So, a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of powerlifters did. That's all they had. I still got my lace bandages. When I was in the late 80s and early 90s, I still got them. I just keep them in my gym bag. When you people in this organization, federations, think about this though. Just think. If you're going to have the Classic Raw, it's with the wraps, wrapping the knees, or some federations won't let you wrap your knees anymore. They let you use the sleeves. You're going to reward your belt, but you got to protect those joints in Classic Raw. Not Raw now, Classic Raw. What's the problem with wrapping your elbows? Okay, I'm putting it out there to everybody. Think about this. When you come together and you talk about rules and other stuff, get the council, get the people together, council, whoever discusses all this, and think about that. 36 years of experience that I have, and I have no arthritis, no joint problems, because I've always wrapped. So what I'm saying is, when in your competitions, y'all think about this, start letting people wrap their elbows in competitions. Okay, that's called Classic Raw. So if you're doing your knees, why not do your elbows? All right, that's just something I want to pass on to your organization, federations. Just think about it, and love you. Love God. He loves you. Take care and help each other and be there for each other. I don't care if it's on a computer, digging a ditch, a phone, whatever else. Somebody needs help, help them. Get them kick-started. This is what these videos do when I'm doing exercise videos, is help beginners get a kickstart. Then they start learning stuff on their own, but if they need to know something, they'll go back and say, hey, I need a little help. Can you show me this? So be there for each other. Be there for your kids. You know, don't say, hey, you know, get on my face. Hey, go learn it yourself. Be there for not just for the person or a friend, but be there for your kids. Okay? All right. Love everybody. Take care, and God bless.